Good day everyone, I am Gainsan Cruceline Gagliarde for BEd 2. So my topic, it is all about 4.3 RA 8371. What is Indigenous Peoples Right Act that was belong in RA 8371? Indigenous Peoples Rights Act in 1997, Republic Act number 8371 to 1987, it is an act to recognize, protect, and promote the rights of indigenous cultural communities and indigenous people. It is creating a national commission on indigenous peoples, and then also it is establishing the implementing mechanisms, appropriating funds thereof. It gives a view to preserve their cultural traditions and institutions and to ensure the equal protections and non-discriminations of members. So this act is dividing into two following chapters. So there are general provision, definitions of term, right to ancestral domain, right to self-governance and empowerment, the penalties, final provision, jurisdiction, and procedures for enforcement of right. The ancestral domain fund, national commissions on indigenous people, and then social justice and human rights, and the last is cultural integrity. According to the definition, it is provided in Chapter 2. In the term ancestral domain, it is comprised lands, island waters, coastal areas, and natural resources, therein held under a claim of ownership. It occupied or processed by ICCS and IPS by themselves or through their ancestors, communally or individual since time immemorial. The term ancestral land means any land is occupied, possessed, and utilized by individuals, families, and clans who are members on the ICCS and IPS. The ICCS and IPS, it is an ancestral domain, have been officially delineated and determined according to the procedure set out in this act, shall be issued a certificate of ancestral. The domain title, which is the CADT, is the name of the community concerned, which shall be registered before the Register of Deeds. So there are the rights of ownership and professions of ICS and IPS to their ancestral domain that shall include. There are the right of ownership, the right to develop, control, and use lands and natural resources, the right to stay in the territories and not to remove therefrom. Next is the right of resettlement in suitable sites in case of displacement. Next is the right to regulate the entry of immigrant, the right to safe and clean air and water. Also, the right to claim the parts of reservations, and then the last is the right to resolve conflicts in accordance with customary laws of the area concerned. So this act, it makes provisions for the establishment of the National Commission in Indigenous Cultural Communities and Indigenous Peoples, which is the NCIP, and then which shall serve as a primary government agency for the assistance of ICCS and IPS. So towards this end, the state shall institute and establish the necessary mechanisms to enforce and guarantee the realizations of the rights that was taking into considerations of their customs, their traditions, values, the beliefs, interesting and institution, and to adapt and implement the measures to protect their rights to their ancestral domains. Thank you for watching.